tonight in this edition of the primetime newscast on Equinoxe television as local inhabitants continue to flee Kwakwa. Kwakwa is a village in Bonge subdivision of the southwest region of Cameroon. The divisional officer for the said locality has reiterated that there is calm. In this newscast, we shall be getting the reaction of residents who will be telling us why they are escaping to safer neighboring localities, while the divisional officer as well as other local administrative authorities would tell us why parents should send their children to school. That is our lone headline for tonight. We shall be right back with the details. Stay with us. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. We thank you so much for joining us. We begin right away in the locality of Kwakwa, Mbonge subdivision of the southwest region of Cameroon. After the burning of several houses few days ago, we showed you images of how there was massive destruction and how several local inhabitants were rendered homeless. Shortly after the incident, local inhabitants have continued to flee to other safer neighboring localities and bushes. They say that they are escaping for their safety and that their lives are in danger. Let's have the details of that report and the picture of the locality of Kwakwa at the moment with our reporter, Katran Kone.
Kwakwa, a village in Bonge subdivision, Meme division of the southwest region of Cameroon, is almost being transformed into a desert. This is as a result of the increasing numbers of inhabitants fleeing the village to nearby safer localities. The mass exodus in Kwakwa today was further amplified following the burning of tens of houses, which rendered many homeless.
Well, this thing will occur like that was on Saturday what we buried our chief. So we enter the happen on Sunday morning. According
to this inhabitant, it all started on Saturday during the funeral ceremony of the chief. On Sunday morning, he says, we started hearing gunshot from Kombone. The loud sound of the guns made us to run into the bush. Coming back that same Sunday, we realized parts of our houses were burnt to ashes. He added that the burning process continued on Thursday, with almost all houses razed down by the wild flames. We have been stranded and we are dying of hunger in the bush. Major casualties were recorded following the burning of houses.
As we don't enter bush, I don't know how many people they die, but I know people don't die because
he says, I can't tell how many persons died, but an old woman was caught in the flames and burned to death. He added, the same fate befell an alleged mentally deranged persons who were shot at the market. Citizens of Kwakwa have expressed fear following the recent happenings and security threat. Some are still packing out from the village, which has become a shadow of itself.
So the wrong way. Okay.
We are packing out from the village. All our houses were burned. We can only return when tension has calmed down. To road transporters, they are feeling the pinch of the incident as it has drastically affected their activities.
Now so high as 5,000, 6,000. The note I was first I was working 5,000, 20,000. But now so no if you get even 5 to 6,000.
As the crisis persists, a number of villagers have taken permanent residence in bushes despite appeals from traditional rulers for them to return to their village. Kwakwa has now become a war zone with few persons seen moving on the street. Locals say Kwakwa will only be a home again after they are guaranteed of their safety.
Now, the divisional officer from Bonge subdivision in Meme of the southwest region of Cameroon, Bekie Befolo Allen Search, dismissed claims of ongoing tension in the locality, stating that security forces in collaboration with the administration have succeeded To maintain calm in Kwakwa and other neighboring localities, the major problem he indicated that is being faced by local administrative authorities is massive school boycott. Let's hear him in the following excerpt.
Tension is over today. I'm surprised when to talk about tension today. Military come in our area, force of law come in our area to secure our people, to protect our people, to be sure that calm and order come back in our area. But today we have one worry. The worry is that school don't resume. So we try to find solution with my close collaborator to see how we can manage, how we can find solution to invite students to come back to school. You know that first time in 2017, school resumed in the area of Mbonge. We try to see effective. We have done around at the level of Mbonge Marumba, at the level of Ganjo Titi, Binganjo. We observe that school resumed. But today, unfortunately, because of that last tension, school stopped going on. So today, we are really embarrassed to observe that parents continue to keep children to school. I mean that, let's say next week, children will come back to school. That's why I invite parents, I invite pastor, I invite priest to do everybody's work in his level to reassure people that Mbonge is calm, everything is okay, our children can go back to school.
The divisional officer from Mbonge subdivision there stressing on the need for parents to send their children to school. The deal for Mbonge equally added that all was well in the various villages and localities until what he called assailants started attacking villages and terrorizing local inhabitants. He equally urged traditional rulers to take their responsibility, as we hear in the following excerpt.
2 weeks ago, in this same village, a Saiyan go there to aggress military, gendarme, and the other people took their money, killed some of them. And finally, my hierarchy take its responsibility to restore order in this area. So today, I mean that the level of Kwakwa, people start backing in their various houses to start their new life.
Okay, sir.
I'm sure that if there's any worry, the chief and chairman of this village, I know that we lost a chief there. The chairman has to take his responsibility to come and denounce any suspicious in this area, because we start doing our job. It's not the end. State decide to take his responsibility, and state decide to restore order and peace on this area.
Okay, thank you.
For the end of my speech, I want to add that some of people try to embarrass our inhabitants. They go there to aggress them, to, let's say, assign, go there to aggress them and ask them to collect money for them. I want to call parents, chief and chairman to be really vigilant, to refuse to give money for this assignment, because we don't know, they will take this money, buy gun and bullet, to destabilize our peace, our order in our area.
And Equnoxe was equally at the center of chaos. In the early hours of this morning, there was a gun battle between soldiers of the National Defense Forces and some yet to be identified armed civilians. The chief of Equnoxe confirmed the said information to Equinoxe television, equally notified that many of the attackers were injured in the course of the confrontation. The population has continued to live in perpetual fear and consternation. It should be noted as well that local inhabitants in Kumbo of the Bui Division Northwest region of Cameroon were equally panic-stricken between yesterday and today following exchange of gunshots between soldiers and some armed civilians. The town has simply been militarized. So we are following up developments. We shall be keeping you updated. Here in the economic capital Douala, local administrative authorities and other stakeholders have continued to find solutions to the problems of parking space for trucks in the city. A park is to be rehabilitated in Yassa on the outskirts of the country's economic capital, but transporters say that it is not a solution to the current problem. Our reporter Babla Jonathan has the details.
Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, a strategic trade hub in the Central African sub-region, receiving trucks from neighboring countries like Chad, Central African Republic, Equatorial Guinea, and others on daily basis. Paradoxically, it has no appropriate parking space for trucks coming in from other parts of the country and the sub-region. The problem has been worsened by the forceful eviction of trucks from the park close to the Douala Reunification Stadium. And this is where the trucks will henceforth be expected to park. This parking space in Yassa at the east entrance into the city, yet to be rehabilitated, is considered by authorities as the beginning of the solution to the problem.
Yes, it's one of the solutions. We instructed the City Council authority to deeply investigate for other possibility, because we are here in the east side of the city. The west side have to be concerned because transporter operates both in east and west.
It is, however, a solution with many obstacles due to its slopey topography and the fact that a greater portion of the area is occupied by inhabitants.
Those who are settled there are in their own risk because they cannot present any document. And it's also another responsibility of public authority that we have. We know we should pas satisfied.
To the transporters, the rehabilitation of this parking space is not the appropriate solution to the problem. Another problem highlighted by the transporters during a consultation meeting at the Wuri Prefect's office is the fact that trucks coming into Douala through the west entrance will be obliged to go across the town, often with the traffic jam that characterizes the city of Douala, to park here. The Littoral Regional President of the Road Transporters Trade Union, Raymond Mungang, says this will provoke adverse economic consequences on the transporters and companies. The administrative authorities, transporters and other stakeholders continue brainstorming on the way out of the problem.
And administrative authorities in the University of Marwa, where in the far north region of Cameroon, have pledged to organize the most distinct university games this 2018. They also promised to beef up security during the ceremony in the region that has so far been hit by Boko Haram atrocities. The university authorities equally indicated that they are honored to host the games, as innocent as it tells us in this report.
For the first time, the University of Marwa will host the University Games. The games to begin as from May the 4th to the 11th is believed to have instigated administrative authorities of the University of Marwa organized the institution's 2018 budget session to determine how much to be allocated for the event's infrastructural projects. 1.5 billion francs CFA is the sum government has granted to the administration of Marwa onto what he has plowed into the project. It is an event the administrative heads want to distinguish from previous ones organized by other universities in Cameroon. being a region that has been frequently targeted by the barbaric jihadist group Boko Haram, efforts and resources are being galvanized to guarantee security of participants during the university jamboree. Feeling honored and favored, the administration of the University of Marwa has also plans to make the 2018 edition of the University Games indelible in minds.
And the French ambassador to Cameroon says that the interest of his government is to improve on food variety for food sufficiency. He was speaking in Boya at the launching of a 5-day scientific meeting. Derek Jato was part of the opening ceremony. He tells us more in the following story.
As malnutrition caused by food scarcity is still having Africa as a fertile ground, a French research center known as International Research Center for Agricultural Development, CIRAD, is coordinating a 5-day scientific meeting in Boya.
We expect a better adoption at the end of the project for root and tuber and banana. The idea is to join effort between different partners who are working on improving root, tuber and banana from the genetic point to the consumer.
And the presence of Mr. Gilles Toubeau, the French ambassador to Cameroon, was an indication of French interest on agricultural advancement in Cameroon and Africa.
The contribution of the French government is very important. They try to increase various varieties to find the good solution for the family.
With over 11 countries drawn from Africa and beyond participating, the Southwest Governor Bernard Okalia Bilai, before declaring the 5-day international meeting open, sounded optimistic.
We hope that this contact will give us very important tools in research to produce more and more.
Within their stay in Boya, these participants will visit some site, and among the Boya Mountain.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television. Viewers, we thank you so much for joining us. Wishing you a blessed stay in the company of our programs. Until we meet again, goodbye.